Peak Wealth Management proudly presents the Trust the Plan podcast with Nick Hopwood and Jim Pilat, where we believe by providing education and guidance, we can help you retire with peak confidence. Now, here are your certified financial planners, Nick and Jim.
Welcome everyone to the Trust the Plan podcast. I'm Nick.
And I'm Jim.
And it's episode 199, and we're going to talk about college planning today. But first, let's talk about Michigan football.
A lot of good stuff to talk about.
I know our followers love when we go. They're like, stay in your lane. I'm like, nope.
We can't not comment on the great start to the season, can we?
Yeah, and just like last year, our predictions are 100% true.
Yeah.
And I think if the defense wasn't so good, JJ might be a real Heisman candidate.
Yeah, it's funny to think about it like that, isn't it? But one of our strengths is actually hurting him a little bit in his chances. But that's
Exactly.
Right. As long as we keep winning, we'll take it.
Yeah. So I want to talk about college funding in my own personal life, okay? Because like a lot of people, we contributed to the Michigan Education Trust, setwithmet.com. And for me, it goes back like 35 years because when my grandfather passed away, my dad took some of his inheritance and bought Met for my brother and I. And so growing up, my dad would say to us constantly, you can go anywhere you want to go to college as long as it's in the state of Michigan. And so, that was just how we were growing up, thinking about the Met.
Yeah, actually I have a similar story, not with me, but with my wife. Her college was paid for by the Met as well.
Nice.
She did
that was the investment vehicle to pay for college.
Yeah, which was basically, it's, not to be confused with the 529, right? The Met is the prepaid college tuition, essentially, is what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly right. And so I think back in 1985, when the program rolled out, it was excellent. Okay. But I'm not so happy
about it today.
I don't feel so warm and fuzzy about it anymore. So just like my dad, right, I wanted to pay for my kids' college. And so when our first two boys were born, first thing I did was buy some MET. It's setwithmet.com. And, the program became less appealing, but I still felt good about it at that time. So the example I want to go through right now is for my second son, okay? So he was born in 2009, late. And by early 2011, I was ready to roll with this, with buying the Met program. So I bought 1 year of Met, and I paid $14,800 for the prepaid tuition. I did a lump sum, wrote a check for it. I think I put it on my home equity line, actually. So I took a loan to prepay college. And lo and behold, 12 years later, maybe 12 and a half years later, I found out that the value of that prepaid tuition plan is $15,400. These are exact numbers. Okay, $14,800 has grown over 12 plus years to $15,400.
Wow.
Here's your quick math, okay? 5% return over 12 years.
Yeah, that's not annual. That's your return after 12 years. That's pretty tough.
The annual compound is like 0.3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would have been better off holding it in a money market all these years. Would have been better off just owning treasuries all these years. Okay. So to really make myself feel some pain, I looked up the S&P on the day that we purchased the Met, and I figured out that if we would have just used the other state of Michigan 529 plan, the MESP, the 14,800 would have grown to 44,000 over that same time period. And that even includes last year's bear market.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's 3x,
yeah.
Right? 15,000 to 44,000. It's like 3x difference, 5% versus, 300% or whatever it is.
Right.
So I think that if you're thinking about college funding, you should really consider this anecdotal evidence, right? But also looking forward, there's more information to help us figure it out, and that is that interest rates have changed a lot. Back in 2011, rates were low, and now rates are higher. So you could buy a 10-year treasury and have almost 5% per year. It's like 4.8 right now. And that's guaranteed.
Right. Right. It's a much easier way to go.
Yeah. You don't need Met to administer your guaranteed return. You can
Yeah.
just buy Treasury. You could buy a bond fund in your MESP and be conservative about it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can take some risk, especially for younger children. Take some risk.
Mm-hmm.
This is the payoff. Now, mind you, we put all the other money for our kids' college into the investment 529 aspect.
529, yeah.
Okay. So there's lots of choices out there when it comes to college funding. Met, 529s, joint brokerage account, double E bonds.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most of the other options for most people could be a better option.
Yeah, I would agree, especially in light of some of the law changes too around 529s. Now we're gaining some flexibility into what can be done with that money if it's not used for college, right? Potentially rolling some of that money into Roth IRAs and things for the kids, which is pretty powerful. I'd love to be able to take some of that 529 money and turn that into Roth money for my kids, so now it's tax free forever.
I love that. And liquidity, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
how do I get this money out of Met, right? How many forms am I going to have to fill out?
Yeah.
Maybe we should ask Dave Ramsey how to get the money out, right? Inside joke from another episode. But also, 529 will pay for high school.
Mm-hmm.
It'll pay for a lot of stuff besides just the university.
Yeah, it's gotten much more flexible than it used to be. There was always used to be a lot of fear around, well, what if I don't use it for college, or what if I, but I mean, you can use it on, books and computers and tuition and room and like all these different things that, on top of being able to roll it into the Roth if there's money left over. So it's a pretty good and flexible way to go now.
Excellent. Well, I think that wraps it up for college funding. And remember, at Peak, we believe by providing education and guidance, we can help you retire with peak confidence. Please subscribe and ring that bell and share this episode if you feel it's relevant to your friends and family and coworkers. Thanks. We'll see you next time.
Peak Wealth Management thanks you for watching and listening to the Trust the Plan podcast, featuring certified financial planners Nick Hopwood and Jim Pilat. If you enjoyed our program, please subscribe and share. If you'd like to learn more about our services, please visit peakwm.com. peakwm.com today. See you next week.